Welcome to the Healing Cocoon. I'm Jacobie Gray, soul alignment and success coach and energy healer, which means I can intuit the subtle layers of your energy field to promote ultimate health and well-being. My goal for this podcast is to shed light on the healing journey itself and help you feel more supported as you embark on the process of unpacking your past to consciously create your present and start living the life of your dreams. Through the study of coaching, kinesiology, holographic kinetics, meditation, Reiki, the chakra system, and many other modalities, I've learned how to release the blocks that were holding me back. Now I'd love to help you do the same. By embarking on your own self-healing process, you'll see the world transforming around you in ways you never thought possible. You'll begin to experience more connection, clarity, love, fulfillment, synchronicity, and success than you've ever had before. So welcome to the Ascension. Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to another episode of the Healing Cocoon podcast, and it's a Metamorphosis Chat today, and we're talking about the Sacral Chakra. Last Metamorphosis Chat was what is the root chakra, and today is what is the Sacral Chakra. Each week I'm going through from 1 to 7, talking you through the different chakras in the 7 main chakras. There are so many chakras, but the 7 main ones that we focus on are the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And today's chakra, the sacral, its Sanskrit name is the Svadhisthana. It is the element of water, and as you will see, I was putting my notes together for this chakra, and it's a very fluid chakra. It's all about boundaries. And as I was trying to, because I think I told you last week that I want to just give you 3 main attributes of each chakra through these discussions. And the attributes of this particular chakra are so intertwined. And I thought, wow, that is very, very indicative of the chakra itself. The color is orange. So last week the root chakra was red, and now we're moving up the rainbow bridge into the color orange. And this chakra has 6 lotus petals. When you see any sort of drawing that is true to I guess the yogic chakra system, you will see that it is defined with lotus petals, or a lotus flower that has 6 petals. Last week was 4 petals. The signifying statement is, I feel. It's all about emotions, all about emotions. And the placement of this chakra is in our sacrum, or our pelvis area, very much the sex organs. And so this chakra is often defined as a feminine chakra, whereas the root is a masculine one. And the chakras, they kind of alternate as they go up the ladder. So the root is masculine, the sacral is feminine, the solar plexus is masculine, the heart is feminine, the throat is masculine, the third eye is feminine, and then the polarities merge into the union, or the sacred oneness of the crown chakra. Although some people would say that the knowledge and the universal knowledge of the crown chakra is also a masculine attribute or tendency. However, I believe personally that, which, take that with a grain of salt, because we all form our own ideas and opinions. But I believe that the two weave in and out until they form that sacred place of union at the crown and up into the universe. And when I do describe masculine and feminine, I'm not saying whether you are a man or a woman, or you identify as a man or a woman. I'm actually talking about the attributes themselves that to this point in time have been associated associated with feminine qualities and masculine qualities. So the feminine qualities would tend to be more sensitive and nuanced internal energies, and the masculine qualities are more energized and directed and external energies. So you can see like the root, it's just all about grounding. There's a strength there as we ground down into our family, our roots, our identity, the earth, our bodies. Whereas we come up then to the sacral chakra, and we're all about feelings and creativity and sexuality, and it's all very fluid. So the primary function of this chakra is procreation. But when I say that, it's because procreation is the source of all creation, and so it's essentially this chakra is also about creativity, but it's also about pleasure in terms of emotions and sexual pleasure. So the first aspect I wanted to talk about is the emotional aspect, and it's the pleasure versus the pain. And so often we're either seeking the pleasure hit, or we are avoiding the pain, or we're actually sitting in the pain and we can't get to the pleasure at all. There's a lot of numbing that can go on in this chakra, numbing sexually, numbing your ability to feel and your sensitivities, not only sexually but emotionally. This chakra is all about your ability to flow, to let go. It's how you deal with change. Some people are very rigid and flexible, and therefore not experiencing a lot of joy, spontaneity, physical pleasure in their bodies. And it's all about how much you can actually just let go and allow yourself to experience joy. Allow yourself to experience the nuances of physical touch, of emotional intimacy. And it's funny because I guess when I think about when we laugh, we're having a laughing fit, say, with our friends, when hysterics, I mean, that kind of happens more in your teenage years, but like you're laughing so hard and you're having the best time. And that emotion, it passes just naturally, the emotion is expelled. It's an energy, which is what emotion means, energy in motion. And we have this physical outburst, and it's laughter. It feels good. It fills our brain with all of the endorphins and all of the things. And then it passes. And we don't try and hold on to that. However, somehow we get stuck in our pain and our shame and our grief, and shame is actually the primary or the dominating emotion of this particular chakra. Fear is the root chakra and shame is the sacral. But we will hold on to our pain and our shame and our depression and our darkness. And those emotions are meant to pass as well. We're meant to feel embarrassment sometimes. That's how we know we've overstepped potentially a boundary for ourselves. Or we're meant to experience the shame of potentially hurting someone. Again, that's how we know we've overstepped a boundary. We're meant to be hurt when someone treats us inappropriately and oversteps our boundary. We're meant to experience hurt in that moment. We're meant to get angry when injustice occurs. But we're not meant to hold on to those emotions. Those feelings are meant to pass in the same way that when you have a laughing fit and you allow that to pass, all your emotions are meant to pass as easily and effortlessly as a laughing fit. That is when you know you're a truly healthy human, not because you're not feeling angry at all, not because you're not experiencing embarrassment or shame or any of these feelings. It's when you get stuck in them and that you start to identify with them, and they become how you define yourself in the world and the filter through which you move through the world. That is when your sacral chakra is blocked. So your ability to experience pleasure and pain and let them go is an indicator of a healthy, balanced, or imbalanced sacral chakra. The next major attribute of the sacral chakra is sexuality. It's fertility, it's procreation, it's your sex organs, it's your pelvis. If you're a female with a womb, it's your womb. It's literally the space where babies are made. It's the coming together of human to human, masculine to feminine, feminine to feminine, masculine to masculine. It's our healthy indulgence in our sensual pleasures. It's our respect. It's our boundaries in these areas, and boundaries are a really big thing for the sacral chakra. So emotional boundaries, sexual boundaries, this is the chakra where we enmesh with others emotionally and create codependent relationships. This is literally the chakra through which we physically, if you're a man and a woman, will actually physically join. A woman will receive a man inside her womb, will literally receive his seed inside her womb. So there's a lot of enmeshment in this chakra, and this is why sexual abuse and people... this is the chakra where boundaries get completely blown out. This is where we can develop negative attachment styles, codependency, enmeshment, unhealthy sexual attitudes, relationships, over-identifying with that sexual drive to dominate. You know, when men are just very much in tune with the, I suppose, the lower aspects of this chakra, which is must, impregnate, although they're just driven by the actual sexual need or sexual desire, but the biological need to plant the seeds. So this is the this is the chakra that's all about boundaries. And as you can see, it's hard to separate the emotions from sexuality because they're so intertwined. I'm jumping in here because I want to ask you a question. Have you ever considered coaching and energy clearing as an option to support your personal healing journey? We often turn to therapy for unpacking the past, but what about what you want to create for your future? Coaching is a great tool for defining the action steps that will move you forward, and energy clearing removes the resistance to those action steps. So my unique offering called The Blend, which is a combination of the two, can be complementary to your deep dive into past traumas with your therapist, or used as a tool on its own to radically strip away the energetics that no longer serve you, so you can consciously define the parameters of your life. Because most people's lives are defined by the parameters of their mind, not the other way around. Coaching and energy clearing makes conscious what is unconscious, so that you no longer are a servant to your outdated protective programming, noisy thought patterns, family energetics, and whatever else is going on inside your mind. So if you'd like to learn more about the blend and how it could support you transitioning into a more fulfilled version of yourself and your life, go to our website, which is also listed in the show notes of this episode at www.urbanascension.co, that's .co, not .com, and schedule a free half-hour discovery call with me, because I would love to chat about what's holding you back and how I can help you move forward. whether you are having an experience where you emotionally leave the building when you have sex, or whether you emotionally give away too much of yourself, this chakra is all about learning where your boundaries are. It's also all about recovering your boundaries if they have been blown out through inappropriate sexual behavior at an age where you were not able to protect yourself, say no, or even at a stage of your life where you didn't have the physical capacity to stop yourself and protect yourself. This chakra is where we deal with all of those things. So coming back to sexuality, and then again, you can see how this then rolls into creativity, because the idea of the fertile nature of the feminine body to receive a baby and grow a baby. But we're also talking about like the fertility of creation itself. And men have fertility in the sense, I mean, obviously their sperm, they're either fertile or they're not, but they also have a sense of fertility in terms of creation. Procreation, two people coming together to create another person. And the universe itself is in a constant state of creation, which is why creativity, even though it's also and largely associated with the throat chakra, and I'll explain that when we get to that chakra, it's the fifth chakra, but creativity is very much a part of this chakra, because if you're stuck, if you're blocked here down in this chakra, you won't have the flow, which allows you, because the flow it's going up from the root to the crown, but it's also coming from the crown down to the root. And as I explained in the last episode, what is the root chakra? The root chakra is how we physically manifest on the physical plane. And of course, if any of these chakras are blocked, you're going to experience a struggle trying to manifest that downward flow into the earth and the physical plane to create your dreams. But this particular chakra, with all of its ability to create, is a big one. If it's blocked, you're going to feel a lack of pleasure in life, a lack of inspiration, a lack of a desire to get up in the morning. And the idea of creation is really like invention is creativity. And necessity is the mother of all invention, they say. And every day we wake up with necessities, things to do, places to go. We need to get there somehow. We need to figure out if our car's in the shop. Okay, I need to be creative. How it's raining and the bus stop is like a mile away. How am I going to get there without my car? That is a creative process that you're going through. You want to make a pumpkin soup, and you decide you want to put a Japanese twist on it, and so you want to add tamari and miso and maybe some mirin, and you want to use a Japanese pumpkin itself. All of this is creativity. It's not just applicable to artists. However, if you are an artist, this chakra in particular, the creativity, it is absolutely coming from inspiration up above and the universe, but a lot of artists are also feeling their way into their art, which is why the emotional aspects of this chakra are really important to be cleared as well. And I think there is a misconception that to be a great artist, you need to be tortured, as in you need to be stuck in your negative emotions inside this chakra in order to feel enough pain to create art. But the art you create from that place will always be limited by the pain. It'll never achieve a sense of transcendence if it's weighed down by those dark emotions. You can, I suppose, transcend through the process. You can transcend your dark emotions through the process of creation. Anyway, as you can see, like this chakra, last week it was so easy to define the three main attributes of the root chakra. They were really kind of, and going back to that masculine aspect of the root chakra, they were very clear and defined. Whereas this chakra is kind of all blended into one, and it's a very feminine kind of element. So we have the sexuality, the idea of procreation, which also leads to the idea of boundaries. But with the universe being in a constant state of creation, it's just whether you're attuned to it or not. So the universe is always creating your life for you. And if you're not consciously co-creating with the universe, i.e., waking up and deciding each day what you're striving for and what you would like to achieve by the end of the day, and how those daily goals then impact your weekly goals, which impact your yearly goals, which impact your life goals, or however you want to look at it. And of course, we're not, just because we have goals doesn't mean we're going to achieve them, because depending on how aligned they are with our soul purpose and our truth, are they coming from an authentic place, or are they coming from a place of, are we driven by pain and need and desire to be seen? But the universe is constantly creating our day. So if we're not in any form or way conscious of trying to create our own lives, whether that's coming from a healthy or an unhealthy place, the universe will create for us. And the way it will do that is through our unconscious programming. So all of those, the blueprint we have from our childhood, the universe will use that filter to draw in experiences, and they will happen to us until we wake up to a place of consciousness where we begin to consciously create our world. And when you're in a state, when you are in a state of co-creation, it's so beautiful, because you don't even have to put in a whole heap of work. It's when you say, gee, you know what would be really useful right now? If I had X, Y, and Z. And then the next day, someone calls you and said, I was just thinking about you, and this is really random, but I've got this thing. Do you want it? And you're like, whoa, yes. It was only yesterday that I was thinking, gee, it would be helpful if I had this, this, and this. And now you're offering it to me. That's a state of co-creation, which when you're aligned with your soul purpose and your authentic needs and desires, life can happen as easily as that. But this chakra, it is our lower three chakras. So the heart is the fourth chakra, and it's in the middle, and that's where heaven and earth meet. And if you think about the lower three chakras as our more earthly ones, and then the top three chakra as our more heavenly ones, and the lower three, a lot of people on the planet don't even ever make it up into their heart chakra. They're kind of caught in their living out their tribal sort of or familial programs, and never questioning sort of like the boundaries that they were born into, and they're getting stuck then, or in the sacral chakra, they're getting stuck inside their emotions or their enmeshments or their negative relationship patterning, or then we'll talk about what the third chakra is next week. But a lot of people aren't even kind of transcending and clearing and healing those chakras enough to truly step into a heart space. And what that means, I suppose, if you think about what's happening on the planet right now with so many people waking up, what that waking up actually means is, one, people are working through their shit enough to step into their heart space. And then the next step beyond the heart space is stepping into that place of consciousness where you're co-creating your life with the universe. And that state of creation is coming from this sacral chakra where life itself is actually created. So that was a bit of a wishy-washy rant. I hope I have given you some kind of understanding as to what the sacral chakra is all about. But think emotions and how you hold on or let go, and your ability to flow between those, your ability to be spontaneous in life, or how rigid you are as opposed to your flexibility. It's your sexuality. It's how fertile you are, your fertility in terms of your ability to create as well as your ability to make a child. It's your pelvis, it's your womb, it's juicy, it's sensual. It's how much pleasure you allow yourself to feel in life and also in the bedroom. It's about boundaries. It's your emotional boundaries. It's your sexual boundaries. It's because the element of this chakra is water, it's so easy for us to overflow into other people's energy systems and become enmeshed with others. So it's about recovering the boundary most of the time in this chakra. And it's our creativity. Are you actively co-creating with the universe through the ease and grace of this chakra? Or are you blocked and rigid and still trying to direct your life with your thoughts? That is the main, I suppose, overview of the sacral chakra. So I hope you've enjoyed this little chat today. If you have, share this with someone you know who might actually benefit from understanding a little bit more about the sacral chakra and what it does exactly. And I will see you next Friday for our next Metamorphosis chat, all about the solar plexus chakra. Have a great weekend. I hope this episode has inspired you to keep going on what can sometimes be a tough road to inner peace and true happiness. If you want to dive deeper into what we talked about today, go to thehealingcocoon.co for show notes and all things personal growth. And don't forget, if you're loving The Healing Cocoon, then put that love into action and subscribe, rate and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. And until next time, my friends, let's rise and shine together.